Hey, what's up, y'all? Here's the arm day that we got, and it was a couple days ago. Actually, I'm just behind making videos, but it doesn't matter. Starting out with the Easy Bar cable tricep extension or push down. I like these better just because my elbow isn't really in pain when I do this, and the stretch at the top feels pretty good with the Easy Bar. And I've seen a few professionals, namely Chris Bumstead, do it, and I like it. So I'm gonna keep trying it for the foreseeable future until I want to make a change. But yeah, too light on this set, but I was scared to go heavy because of my elbow. So I take another sip of pre, get in for the next set with a little bit more weight. I like to go all the way up with my head out the way, with my elbows back, because I get the best stretch right there. And I'm just trying to make sure that my tricep is the only thing working right here, nothing else. Um, I have said in the past that I like to act like my tricep movement is like a push down, but I'm kind of switching back to the extension side of things, but it's almost like in the middle, like I'm pushing down once I get past the half range. So once my forearms are parallel to the floor, it acts as a push down instead of extension to activate the tricep in the most functional manner. So yeah, that's for triceps, the first movement. Now we're going into biceps. This one was a little bit frustrating just because my elbow kept locking up, and you'll see how painful that looks on my facial expression. But I'm trying to make it work and just kind of wondering what I need to do to make it not do that. But I think it takes a couple of sets for the elbow. Um, the it's like the line of pull in my left bicep is not straight, which jacks up the tendons, I think. And I'm blaming it on a past history of pitching baseball with my left hand, making stuff not straight and twisted around. It's catching up to me now. But eventually, after some trial and error, practicing some supinating sets right here, supinating reps, I should say, it kind of unlocks itself. So, yeah, I'm just kind of learning more about the small things of my body, and if I'm actually hurt or not is a question I ask myself almost every day. But yeah, I'm just kind of really questioning why it's not going back to normal at this point. But I think this is the set where I'm like, okay, finally. Because I start at the bottom in like a neutral grip, and then I twist it out and almost curl inward, um, instead of curling outward. Like this variation of curls is most often done. But um, the issue goes away after this. So it's just like the first exercise for biceps kind of is not gonna feel the greatest. So surprisingly, I do a lot of sets of these because I'm just trying to get it to figure out. And I think this is the set where I'm like, oh, all right, now it wants to work. So then I take it to failure pretty much. Another thing I was wanting to talk about was the the way my elbows are moving backward and forward is something I've experimented with because in the past I used to curl with my elbows being held back the whole time. But I actually like bringing my elbows forward now better because um, the bicep gets a fuller contraction and a fuller stretch in the origin, uh, where the bicep is originating in the shoulder. So if I can get that shoulder flexion and extension, the bicep will be able to work a little bit better or get fuller development. Here's the Panada arm pump machine. I don't know what it's called. Basically just tricep, flip it around to bicep. And yeah, I had no idea how to use this. And it took a couple of sets to figure out the bicep movement. Surprisingly, not because of my elbows, because the resistance curve is like only a little bit curved, to where doing a like curl is like dragging it up instead of actually curling it. It still felt really good, but I had to learn how the machine was gonna move. Triceps were much easier to figure out because I could use my body weight to get a really good stretch, and then use more of my triceps to push the bar down instead of leaning away from it. Um, yeah, just these machines are really fun to use, but after trying a lot of them out, I keep maybe 50% of them in the routine, and the other 50% is, the basics. You can't really stray too far away from the basics, because the basics have been proved long enough to show you should continue doing them, even though these high-tech machines exist. Just kind of use them as kind of like a novelty for your workouts, because novelty is a great variable to adjust in your training. When you do the same workout every time, you can kind of get too familiar with technique, and your muscle kind of is out of ideas in terms of how to get better, how to get more experience with different movements. So for me, doing more, like the more creative ways I can do the same principles, apply the same principles, the better, just because um, I'm hitting the muscle from different angles, putting tension in different uh, ranges, putting tension in the stretch, putting tension in the contraction, all throughout the range of motion, etc. Um, yeah, I'll just have to say this preacher curl is the best preacher curl I've ever tried. It's just, I like, I don't know. I don't even have to explain it. It's just really good. Um, yeah. Arms, um, I would say are pretty boring. Everybody would agree. And this workout being an only arm day was kind of like a kind of like one of those filler days. But I said in the last video I made, I want to just be consistent and find any kind of interesting facts I can in each video. And maybe one day something will come out. Some new idea or new thought will come to mind. This is just kind of my way of jogging my thoughts, jogging my memory on things that I know about training, and hopefully shedding some light on areas that I need to improve on. For example, I could have done shoulders in this workout, but was too eager to get out of the gym. It's like I really love going to the gym, but at the same time, as soon as I get going, I just want to like get out of there as soon as possible. This machine right here is pretty fun. I use the foot lever they have to modify where the tension is, and you'll see on my face in a little bit how like surprised I was. I was like, oh wow, you can change where the tension is. You can put the tension at the very end, or you can change or you can put it at the very start. And I don't know how they do that, but it was really cool just to have. I didn't even use it. I kept the tension at the very bottom, um, to stretch out my tricep as much as possible. But if I push my foot down on the lever, it'll make it really easy to shoot the weight up, but really hard to fully contract. This is where I'm like trying to get in the machine, and then I push the lever down, and then I let go of the lever after, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. Yeah. But then I'm like, I prefer the version where the tension's at the bottom and not the top. Um, Maybe I'm a little bit too far down the rabbit hole in terms of scientific training, but I believe that's where more of the gains happen, is putting tension at the lengthened position. It makes sense to my head, like when the muscle is the longest and you put the most tension there, then it has the potential to fill in that space that you're giving it, compared to putting a lot of tension in the smallest position where there's not a lot of room to grow. Um, but it also makes a lot of sense to have tension throughout the whole rep, big and small. Doing some cheating reps here, getting it up to the top and then controlling it on the way down. These poses, I'm just like, wow, whatever. Not really happy with how my physique looks in this video at all, but I'm gonna post it anyways. Just trying to see where I need to improve on, and I will say, my traps need to get bigger, my shoulders need to get bigger, my lats need to get bigger, and I'm doing arms. Isn't that crazy? No, I don't know. I think whenever I start cutting again, I'll be like, wow, that was really cool. But yeah, thank you all for watching.